Welcome to the YouTube channel of Givemock. So guys, I hope you all are doing good and you all are preparing for your upcoming exam. I think it's very near, on 11th and 12th it's going to be held. So I hope you all have done your preparations and revisions are going on. So in order to help you out with your revisions, okay, we have come up with the 20 questions of ABM Module A, that is economic analysis. Okay, and guys, इसमें हमने just एक overview दिया है. We have already uploaded 50 important questions of ABM Module A. You can go and check the link. I have just put in the, or you can just click the I button and you can get the link of the ABM video which we have already uploaded. All right. सो गाइज, इस वीडियो में हमने कुछ करंट अफेयर्स जो बैंकिंग एंड फाइनेंस रिलेटेड करंट इश्यूज़ है, करंट अफेयर्स है, दैट वी हैव आल्सो इंक्लूडेड, बट दैट इज़ वेरी लिमिटेड. We have included some 5 or 6 questions, but on that basis you can just get the idea of how the questions are asked related to the banking and financial awareness. So you just get the idea of that. We have uploaded only 5 to 6 questions. So on that basis you just prepare for the current affairs. All right, so let's just start the video. Okay, start with the first question. So we have first question here. The statement that economics is positive and not normative means. So you can go through the options here. Option A is that economics tells policymakers which alternative to choose from among several efficient ones. Option B is that economics tells us what kind of economic behavior or policy is wholesome and what evil. Option C is that economics can only indicate consequences of policies, choices or conditions. And option D is that economics can be used to prove that capitalism is better than socialism. So guys, the correct answer to this question is option C, that is economics can only indicate consequences of policies, choices or conditions. Okay, all other options are wrong. So let's move on to the question number 2. Which of the following statements is incorrect? So every statement here, A, B, C, D, is related to the microeconomics. So basically, if you have gone through the microeconomics definition, you can definitely answer this question. All right, so the correct answer to this question is option C, that is microeconomics is primarily concerned with the problem of what, how and for whom to produce. So basically microeconomics is related to individual thing, and the macroeconomics is macroeconomics, if I say, is the understanding of economy wide events such as the total amount of goods or services produced, the level of unemployment and the general behavior. So it talks about on the macro level, entire country level, or you can say the entire world level, and micro is basically with the individual, deals with the individual level. All right, so let's move on to the question number 3. Here, increase in demand is shown by demand curve when. So there are 4 options. So the correct answer to this question is option A, that is curve, when the curve shifts right. So increase in demand is shown by demand curve when the curve shifts right. So you need to remember it. All right, अगर आप लोगों ने कर्व से रिलेटेड चीज़ें पढ़ी होंगी, डिमांड, लॉ ऑफ डिमांड एंड लॉ ऑफ सप्लाई, so definitely it is quite an easy question for you. All right, so guys, I would also request you to just try to answer the question, try to attempt the question and comment your scores, genuine score below. All right, so let's move on to the question number 4. If the price of coffee affects the demand for tea, then what will be the consequences? So here are the 4 options. Option A is coffee is substitute for tea. Option B is tea is complement of coffee. Option C is changes in the price of tea will not change the demand for coffee. And option D is changes in the price of coffee will shift or change the demand for tea. So guys, the correct answer to this question is option D, that is changes in the price of coffee will shift or change the demand for tea. So let's move on to the next question. Option that is question number 5. A consumer's equilibrium choice or position is one at which fill in the blanks. You need to choose the correct answer. So option A is consumers' savings are maximized. Option B is consumer satisfaction is maximum. Option C is consumers' assets are maximum. And option D is price of goods are maximum. So इसमें पूछा कि कंज्यूमर इक्विलिब्रियम कब आता है, मतलब कब किस लेवल पे आता है, जब कंज्यूमर का सेविंग्स मैक्सिमम हो, या कंज्यूमर का सेटिस्फेक्शन मैक्सिमम हो, कंज्यूमर का एसेट मैक्सिमम हो, या फिर प्राइस ऑफ गुड्स मैक्सिमम लेवल पे हो. सो द करेक्ट आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन इज ऑप्शन बी. कंज्यूमर सेटिस्फेक्शन जब मैक्सिमम पे होता है तब जाके कंज्यूमर इक्विलिब्रियम आता है. यू मस्ट बी, बिकॉज अगर आप लॉजिक थोड़ा लगाएंगे तो यू कैन ईजिली आंसर दीज क्वेश्चन, ओके, विच आर related to the consumer equilibrium or the demand and supply. You can just solve these questions by your logical thinking, nothing else. All right. So guys, let's move on to question number 6. Which of the following is not part of M3, that is also called broad money? So which of the following option is not part of that? So you go through the options. Option A is currency with public. Option B is certificate of deposit issued by banks. Option C is 15% of the total FCNRB deposit with the banks. Option D is call borrowing from non-depository financial corporation by the banking system. So guys, in this question you must be getting confused with the option C and D, because सब लोगों को ये लग गया होगा पता कि option A and B is definitely the part of M3. So these are not the answer, but option C and D is a little confusing. So I'll tell you that is how the IIBF frames the questions. Questions are asked in CAIIB exams, so they kind of confuses the applicants with these kind of options, confusing options. So let me tell you the correct answer. The correct answer to this question is option C. Many of you are must be thinking that option D is the correct answer, but option C is the correct answer. Okay, 15% of the total FCNR deposit with the banks are not part of broad money, because FCNRB deposit is not part of broad money. Okay, so guys, let's move on to the question number 7. Okay, before that, let me just put the money supply, money aggregates in front of you. What are the, so that you could revise it. So here you can see the money supply aggregates. M0, it is also called monetary base or reserve money. All right. So what are the components of M0? You can just go ahead. You can just revise it. So let me read out for you. The components of M0s are currency in circulation, bankers deposits with RBI, and other deposits with RBI. Okay, these are the part of M0. That is also called reserve money. Okay, and again next is M1, that is also called narrow money. So the components of M1 narrow money is currency with the public, currency deposits with the banking system, demand liabilities portion of savings deposit with the banking system, and other deposits with RBI. So M1, please remember, it is also called narrow money. Then comes M2. Okay, so M2 is basically the components of M2 are all the components of M1 are included under M2 also, and plus time liabilities portion of savings deposit with the banking system, plus certificates of deposit issued by banks, plus term deposit of residents with a contractual maturity of up to and including 1 year with the banking system. So please remember M2 के जो components हैं, do note it. Okay, इससे related questions आते हैं. Okay, so you must be, and these are the easy question, you must be solving these questions and must get at least 1 marks for it. Okay, so the next is M3, that is also called broad money. Okay, so broad money components of broad money are M2. All the components of M2 are included under the broad money, plus term deposits of residents with a contractual maturity of over 1 year with the banking system, plus call term borrowing from non-depository financial corporation by the banking system. And please remember, M3 captures the complete balance sheet of the banking sector. Okay, so M3 captures the complete balance sheet of the banking sector. This is the significance of M3, broad money. All right, let's move on to the question number 7. Which of the following is not a reason for cost push inflation? So guys, you can go through the options here. Option A is an increase in wages. Option B is decrease in profit margin. Option C is monopoly, and option D is imposition of heavy GST by the government. So guys, the correct answer to this question is option B, that is decrease in profit margin. That is not the reason for cost push inflation. It is the opposite one, because increase in profit margin is the one of the reason of cost push inflation, and all other which is there in option A, option C and option D are the reason of cost push inflation. All right, so let's move on to some explanation on inflation and the types of inflation, deflation that we will go through. So guys, inflation, you all must be knowing inflation क्या होता है, सबको idea होगा थोड़ा थोड़ा, but let me just at the cost of repetition, let me just repeat it out for you. Okay, so inflation is a situation of a steady and sustained rise in general prices is usually known as inflation. जैसे आज कोई सामान 10 रुपये का बिक रहा है, but after a year it becomes 12 rupees. The MRP of the same goods or services becomes the 12 rupees. So 2 rupees is the inflated amount. So that there is inflation of you can say 20%. So 20% inflation बढ़ गया वो एक साल के अंदर, वो 10 का सामान वो 12 रुपये का हो गया. That means 20% inflation हो गया. So that is how the inflation is calculated. Inflation is a state in which the value of money is falling and prices are rising. So as you can see here, 10 रुपये का वैल्यू सेम रहा, बट प्राइस जो गुड्स का वैल्यू है वो 12 रुपये हो गया. सो 10 रुपये में जो चीज़ मिल जाते थे लास्ट ईयर, वो आज 12 रुपये में मिल रहा है. मीन्स दैट 10 रुपीज़ कैन नॉट बाय द सेम थिंग. ऑलराइट, सो वैल्यू ऑफ मनी इज falling and prices are rising. So that is how the inflation is defined. Okay, so the second is, it is one of the type of inflation that is called cost push inflation. I think in the previous question we have already talked about the cost push inflation. All right, it arises due to an increase in production cost. Okay, and such type of inflation is caused by three factors, that is an increase in wages, an increase in the profit margin, and imposition of heavy taxation, and also due to monopoly and other factors also this cost push inflation. Because in monopoly market what happens, see, if you have in market, suppose one goods one merchant is having one goods which is not there in any other store or any other market, so he is having monopoly on that particular good. So what he'll do is he'll just increase the cost of that product. So that is how the cost push inflation is comes into the picture. So the third one is demand push inflation. So it arises as a result of strong consumer demand. When many individuals are trying to purchase the same good, the price will inevitably increase. Means too many people chasing the good. Okay, so when this happens across the entire economy for all goods, it is known as demand pull inflation. All right, so demand से जो inflation बढ़ जाता है, बहुत सारे लोग एक ही चीज़ को, जैसे ब्रेड है, ब्रेड को बहुत लोग मतलब मीन्स डिमांड कर रहे हैं, और प्रोडक्शन कम है ब्रेड की और उतना ही है, और लोग ज़्यादा डिमांड कर रहे हैं, ब्रेड ज़्यादा खाने लगे लोग. सो इससे क्या होगा कि डिमांड ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगा ब्रेड के लिए, एंड और उसका अल्टीमेटली उसका कॉस्ट बढ़ जाएगा. सो दैट इज़ हाउ डिमांड पुश इन्फ्लेशन कम्स इनटू द पिक्चर. ओके, so the fourth one is deflation. What deflation is? Deflation is the reverse case of inflation. So deflation is the state of falling prices which occurs at the time when the output of goods and services increases more rapidly than the volume of money in the economy. So in the deflation, the general price level falls and the value of money rises. So you can take the example of computers. Earlier in the when it came into the market, it was very pricey. It was having a higher prices, but ग्रेजुअली कंपटीशन बढ़ने से और बहुत सारे मार्केट में नए नए टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलप होने से उनका रेट घटता गया. सो दैट इज़ हाउ उनका डिफ्लेट हुआ रेट. सो डिफ्लेशन आया. ऑलराइट. सो इस तरह से डिफ्लेशन में क्या है कि प्राइस कम हो जाता है गुड्स का, बट वैल्यू ऑफ द मनी इंक्रीजेस. ओके. The fifth one is disinflation, a fall in the rate of inflation. This means a slower increase in price but not a fall in prices. Slower increase होता है. ये इन्फ्लेशन नहीं, डिसइन्फ्लेशन में क्या होता है, सपोज यू कैन से, जैसे मैंने एक एग्जांपल दिया पहले कि 10 रुपये का चीज़ 12 रुपये हो गया, बट अगर डिसइन्फ्लेशन के केस में क्या होगा, 10 रुपये का चीज़ 10 रुपये 20 पैसे हो गया. ऐसा करके मतलब अगर स्मॉल रेट में इंक्रीज़ हो इन्फ्लेशन तो उसे डिसइन्फ्लेशन कहते हैं. बहुत ही कम रेट से है जो इंक्रीज़ हो. ओके. स्लोअर इंक्रीज इन प्राइजेस. राइट. The sixth one is a recession. So a period of slow or negative economic growth, usually accompanied by rising unemployment. So that is called a recession. And seventh is stagflation. Stagflation में क्या होता है कि an economy that has inflation, a slow or stagnant economic growth, and a relatively high unemployment rate. So stagflation is kind of a unique phenomena where the economy has inflation and also there is high unemployment rate. Basically क्या होता है, इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ने से अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट घटता है, बट स्टैगफ्लेशन के केस में इन्फ्लेशन भी बढ़ता है और अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट भी बढ़ता जाता है. सो दैट इज़ काइंड ऑफ अ very pathetic situation for any country, any government to handle. All right. So the eighth one is disinflation. So a fall in the rate of inflation, that is called, I think we have already discussed it. It just got repeated in the slide. Okay. So let's skip it. The ninth one is depression, a prolonged recession in economic activity. Okay. The textbook definition of a recession is 2 consecutive quarters of declining output. So a depression is an even deeper or more prolonged slump. मतलब अगर कोई रिसेशन बहुत लंबे समय तक किसी कंट्री में चलता रहे तो वो कंट्री जो है इट गोज इनटू द डिप्रेशन. सो यू मस्ट बी you must have heard the Great Depression. It was in the 1929, I think, if I am correct. So 1929 there was a Great Depression in all the economies. So that is how, if recession is prolonged, it is called depression. All right. So let's move on to the question number 8, guys. So when the depreciation from gross national product, I just forgot to write, when the depreciation is deducted from the gross national product, what we get. So you can go to the options here. Option A is gross domestic product, option B is net national product, option C is net domestic product, and option D is net disposable income. So guys, the correct answer to this question is option B, that is net national product. So when you deduct depreciation from gross national product, so you get net national product as a result. Okay. Let's move on to the question number 9. The budget deficit refers to the difference between all revenue and an expenditure of revenue account only. Option B is increased government expenditure, option C is capital account only, and option D is both revenue and capital accounts. So the correct answer is option D, that is both revenue and capital accounts. All right. Let's move on to the question number 10. A regressive tax will tend to redistribute income more dash. You need to fill up the correct answer. So option A is equally, option B is equitably, option C is unequally, and option D is inequitably. So guys, the correct answer to this question is option C, unequally. This is not a brainer. All right. You can easily guess the answer because you must have heard about progressive tax. So progressive tax, what it tends to redistribute income equally, progressive tax, but in opposite, regressive tax will tend to redistribute income more unequally. All right. So let's move on to the question number 11. National income differs from NNP at market price by the amount of. So option A is national debt interest, option B is net indirect taxes, option C is current transfers from the rest of the world, and option D is it does not differ. So guys, the correct answer to this question is option B, that is net indirect taxes. All right. सो नेशनल इनकम NNP एट मार्केट प्राइस से कैसे डिफर करता है? सो नेट इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस के से डिफर करता है. ओके, अगर ऐसा क्वेश्चन आए सो यू कैन ईजिली आंसर दिस. द क्वेश्चन नंबर 12, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग करेक्टली डिफाइंस डेफिसिट फाइनेंसिंग? सो बजट से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन है गाइज. जो गवर्नमेंट जो अपना बजट डेफिसिट होता है, रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट होता है, उसको क्या है, फाइनेंस करती है. सो डेफिसिट फाइनेंसिंग उसी को बोलते हैं. सो क्या है ये? यू कैन गो थ्रू द ऑप्शंस हियर. आई विल टेल यू द करेक्ट आंसर. द करेक्ट आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन इज ऑप्शन डी. So government spends in excess of revenue and capital received to that budget deficit in incurred, and which is financed by borrowing from the RBI or other borrowings. So that is how deficit financing is done. Okay, let's move on to the question number 13. Opportunity cost are also known as. So option A is alternative cost, option B is spillover cost, option C is social cost, and option D is money cost. So guys, the correct answer to this question is option A, that is alternative cost. Okay, let's move on to the question number 14. When we say that a demand curve for a commodity slopes downwards to the right, we mean dash. So you can go through the options. The correct answer to this question is option D, that is more of the commodity will be demanded as its own price falls. Okay, demand and supply से related question है. Okay, concept clear है तो easily you can answer these questions. So let's move on to the question number 15 guys. These are all related to 15 to 20 number questions are related to the current affairs in banking, financial awareness. Okay, so you must be having knowledge of last 2-3 months of banking awareness, current affairs. Okay, then you can easily answer those recent developments in banking questions in ABM. Okay, so the question number 15 is, recently IBBI introduced IBBI Insolvency Bankruptcy Board of India. Okay, so they have introduced graduated system of levy of monetary penalty for minor non-compliance by the dash. You need to fill up the correct answer. So option A is corporate creditor, option B is banks FI, option C is defaulter company, and option D is insolvency professional. So guys, the correct answer to the question is option D, that is insolvency professional. So recently IBBI introduced graduated system of levy of monetary penalty for minor non-compliance by the insolvency professional. Okay, the question number 16 is, you need to name the digital payment solution launched by PM Modi on 2nd August. So option A is e-Rupee, option B is e-digital, option C is e-POS, and option D is e-Rupee. So guys, the correct answer to the question is option D, that is e-Rupee. So basically NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India, has developed e-Rupee on its UPI platform, which is already a successful payment system. Okay, UPI is very successful payment system, you must be knowing that. So these has been developed in collaboration with Department of Financial Services, DFS, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and National Health Authority. Okay, so let's move on to the question number 17. Health and wellness savings account has been launched by which of the following bank? So option A is Bob, option B is State Bank of India, option C is Survodaya. So the correct answer is Survodaya. Okay, option C is the correct answer. Survodaya Small Finance Bank. So let's move on to the question number 18. Which of the following bank honored as global winner for most innovative bank in digital banking by Financial Times publication, The Banker? So option A is Standard Chartered Bank, option B is HDFC Bank, option C is RBL, option D is DBS Bank. So guys, the correct answer to this question is option D, that is DBS Bank. They have got the award for most innovative bank in digital banking. Okay, let's move on to question number 19. Recently definition of startup was changed by Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. And as per the new definition, entity will be considered as a startup up to a period of dash years from the date of incorporation registration. So कितने पीरियड तक, कितने सालों तक फ्रॉम इनकॉर्पोरेशन वो जो स्टार्टअप फॉर्म है वो स्टार्टअप कहलाएगी, कितने पीरियड तक? So you can go through the option A. Option A is 10, option B is 5, option C is 7, option D is 3. So guys, the correct answer to this question is option A, that is 10 years. 10 years तक वो स्टार्टअप ही कहलाएगी. Turnover should not exceed 100 crores, that is the another criteria. एग्जिस्टिंग क्राइटेरिया क्या था कि एग्जिस्टिंग क्राइटेरिया 5 इयर्स तक वो स्टार्टअप कहलाते थे और 25 करोड़ टर्नओवर होना चाहिए था, बट नाउ दैट हैज़ बीन चेंज. ओके, सो लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द लास्ट क्वेश्चन ऑफ द वीडियो. क्वेश्चन 20. Digital Prayaas, an app-based end-to-end digital lending platform, has been launched by which of the following bank institution for providing loans? So guys, you can go through the options. Option A is State Bank of India, option B is Canara Bank, option C is SIDBI, and option B is NABARD. So the correct answer is option C, that is SIDBI. So guys, thank you so much for your patience, and thank you so much for watching the video. If you are new here, just do subscribe, okay, and like the video, and also please share the piece of information. So guys, just remember that we will be coming with the video of on CIB, GIB, and other certifications of IIBF, and also the current affairs. Due to busy schedule, the video does not come frequently, but we are trying our level best to to impart the information with you, and to to come up with the frequent videos on GIB, CIB certification, and also the other certification of IIBF. Okay, so thank you so much for watching.